It is time for us to take on what I think is gonna be the biggest project of this world as of yet. We've done so many incredible things in this world, from doing the starter house to building our phenomenal little village up here, which I just absolutely freaking love this village so much, man. It's so colorful, so comfortable, and well, the iron golems are just taking over, man. They're absolutely taking over. As well as that, of course, we've now gotten ourselves our little vine farm inside this house over here, our random little farm up here, which, well, if we need weed, we can go up there. Because it's not like we got weed a bunch of other places, even up there. We got ourselves plenty of stuff around in this world, man. But I think my favorite build as of yet has got to be these two giant dwarves guarding the entrance to whatever we're gonna build in there at some point. Obviously as well, we gotten ourselves a giant nether portal. We've gotten so many things in this world, and we are only gonna keep on expanding. And that is what today's project is. Because if you kind of, in a sense, right now, we have this kind of circle going around here where everything you look at right now, there are some sort of build going into the actual area itself, all around this space. Upstairs to well the downstairs where I'm at right now. But when we walk over here, where we obviously in our last episode built a new little tree farm, the issue is when we look down, this area down here is just awful. But I think I have gotten myself a pretty cool idea. What the idea is I want to build some sort of fishing town, I guess you would call it. Now exactly how it's gonna turn out, I don't know, because as always, we just go full on freestyle and try and just come up with something as we go. But what I want to start off with this episode is I want to expand on our little tree farm up here and just throw down a bunch of trees that we can just have growing on top of each other, because we're probably gonna end up using so much wood and stuff for these different projects going on. I'm actually pretty confident in saying that I don't have anything that looks like an oak sapling. I'm almost certain that does not exist in any of my chests. As far as I can tell, I'm right about that. There are still so many things to do right now. I still want to make sure that this little lake going down here gets filled up with a bunch of lily pads and flowers and stuff like that. But I need to make a trip back to the village that we have like all the way over there to grab a bunch of new materials to add into this. That is going to be when we need a little mid break from building down here, because you know, it's always nice having like a little thing going on halfway through a project where you can just take a little breather, get away from it, maybe come up with a couple new ideas, and then jump right back into it. But for now, I am just unbelievably ready to just literally jump into this project and go crazy. There are so many things that has to be done at this point right now, but we can just start off by doing a very simple little thing, and that is extending this little stairway that we have going down, just so we can easily run up and down with no issue. So for me to get a better look at how everything is going to look down here, what I should probably start off doing is trimming a bunch of these trees away, which is going to give me a bunch of materials, which is actually also pretty perfect. But it also is just going to give me a better feel of how this entire area looks without all these trees standing in the way. What are the chances of two villager zombies spawning at the same time? I saw them both coming out of this cave. There is no way that I just had two of those at the same time just running out of here. What? That seems like, how is that happening? I was like thinking, is there a village here? That there probably isn't. I would have absolutely seen it, but that's insane. Two? I genuinely don't think I've ever seen two zombie villagers at once just coming out of there. Or like of anywhere, basically. That is actually literally insane. I kind of want to take them actually and just turn them into villagers, because it would give me a much better price on things as well. Alright, both of them trapped right here. Perfect. So now that... Oh yeah, they're gonna be loud. Let me just move a little bit down. So now that I've cleared a little bit of this area up, I want to just start by actually working on this area and then moving further in. Because as you can see, like just the level of spawn rate down here is just absolutely insane. And obviously, like, because I've lit so much up here, when there are these dark areas, the spawn rate will just be even more insane. But the plan for everything is quite simple. I want to just start off by building a little middle thing around the entire thing in the middle. That's where I'm going to start building everything. So probably around in this part right here, I want to make a little quote-unquote mini island where I have some sort of diorite tower going up, kind of like a lighthouse maybe. I'm not exactly sure, but maybe like a clock tower slash lighthouse. Actually, a clock tower might be pretty cool now that I think about it. What I probably should do is, do I even have torches? I don't even know if I actually have torches. Well, I know for sure that I'm not ever going to be running out of wood now that we have this tree farm. So I'm going to just throw down this furnace, pop in this bucket of lava. Let's just grab a stack of this dark oak logs, and then we can just make a whole bunch of charcoal that we can turn turn into torches because I really need to light this area up. So for me to be able to build this tower in here, obviously we have to get a bunch of diorite, and I'm pretty certain that I actually don't really have any diorite laying around anywhere. Let's also really quick throw down all of these saplings right here, so if we at some point are gonna need oak, we already have a bunch of trees grown. And I guess sure, we can even do jungle wood right here, because we'll probably also end up needing a little bit of jungle wood. I'm just gonna grab myself a few stacks of diorite and then we can get to the project. I think this is all the materials that I'm going to need for now, but before we get into it, what I need to do is I've just realized that I'm actually at level 33 right now, so I want to grab some of my diamonds that I have, and then I want to make a new helmet. I got so many diamonds now, I can afford to just waste some. So this is another protection 3. That is definitely not what I was hoping for the diamond hoe. Yeah, so I'm also going to make myself a new diamond hoe. They're really nice to clear out areas with trees. So we're going to start off by enchanting this one, Unbreaking 3 and Unbreaking 3. Well, that's garbage. Silk Touch. Silk Touch is an interesting one. It gives me the opportunity to grab a bunch of leaves that I can then in turn turn into bone meal. But it also limits the opportunity to get sapling. I think I'm gonna grab it. I think I'm gonna grab it actually. Okay, so Silk Touch and Efficiency 4 is not a bad one. This also puts me under level 30. I have just realized that. But ooh, this does gives me the opportunity to, when I get back to 30, we can get Protection 4. Let's just throw in a couple of extra diamonds in this chest. So can I get to level 30 quickly? I know I have some clay lying around here that I can trade with my villagers, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Ooh, I got a decent amount actually. Let's try and grab all of this clay right here and talk to some of our villagers, and then make sure that we don't hold anything in our hands with mending on it. And then let's see if we can get to level 30 with this. It's probably gonna be close, but not quite. That's the typical one. Like I told you. It's gonna be close, but not quite. Unless these guys reset their trade. That's so annoying. Okay, they do. Alright, they do. Yeah. I was just gonna say that is just my luck. I would not have been surprised if that was the case. Let's jump in here, throw in our new helmet. I need my lapis. Boom, boom. Protection 4 and just Protection 4, which is alright because I can just combine these two. Throw in this helmet. That's for 6, and this one will be 10. So let's reverse it. Protection 4, Unbreaking 3, and then the Efficiency 4. That's 3. No, that's 12, and then the other way it's an 8. Then I also need mending. That is true. I definitely do need mending. That's a Silk Touch book. I do not think I have any mending books lying around. But what I do have right here is just the bookshelves that I can quickly mine. And then we can find wherever that librarian is that does sell us mending. Not this guy, but I will actually buy some lanterns. To no one's surprise ever. There we are. This guy is the mending guy. And I'll buy some lanterns as well from you. So let's pop in the helmet and throw on the mending. I suppose actually I'll buy another mending book for the diamond hoe. Buy a few more lanterns first. Where's the mending guy? Alright, there's another mending book. Let's pop that on the diamond hoe. And that's probably all the work that I wanted to do right now. Just a little bit of extra stuff, which is always nice. So I believe with all of that, that now means that I'm basically ready to go down here and build this tower. So let's start off by finding the middle point, at least somewhat. It doesn't have to be exactly the middle, but it has to be somewhat. And we should really get to spending all of the torches around here. We've gotten ourselves another spawner right here. This one is actually a skeleton spawner. So I think I'm gonna mixturing in some diorite with some dark oak and maybe even some granite potentially. But for now, if we say that the entrance is just gonna be this right here, this is the door. So then I want to do a 1, 1, and then that. Then I want to have the wall extend by a 1, 2. Same on the other side. And then I kind of just replicate right here with a 1, 2, 3. Then this last few pieces like that. So this is basically gonna be the size of it, and this right here will just be the entrance. So then what I want to do is I want to probably extend this here a few blocks out and then build a little staircase going up, and then just have the tower going, I don't know, maybe between 20 and 30 blocks high. I don't want it to be too tall because of the actual like islands up here, so just like a kind of solid middle thing. Let's see what we can do. Well, that didn't even go remotely close to what I was thinking in terms of size. It is much, much bigger than I thought it was gonna. But you know what? I like it though. I definitely do really like it. I think it looks really, really cool. Now that I'm looking from down here, there's a few details that I think could be a little better. So maybe if I just go to the side and remove nope, not that. But if I remove the stairs on both sides right here and just throw in this with lanterns on top of it, I think it's gonna bring a little bit more light. So since everything is so dark down here, it's so important to really mixing in a good amount of light to bring everything to life. Yeah, that actually helps a whole lot. Then obviously the island around should also have a little bit more to it. So what I'm thinking is that I just add some sort of dirt layer going all the way around. I think I want it at a height of about here. So something as simple as if I can just grab myself a handful of dirt, and then all I need to do is just fill it in a little bit around here so it just goes out all the way around. Nothing too big, but definitely, yeah, see, I'm thinking something like this. Yeah, if you take a look at this right here, I think if I can just replicate this going all the way around, this should be fine. And then what we can do is we can start adding in a little bit of water around here just to get the whole feel. So I just carved out a little area that we can fill in with water, and that will give us a solid idea of where we can expand out from here. The water for sure adds in a massive improvement. So what I think I'll do then, rosebush, drip leaves, and lilacs added in around the tower should look good. So if we just spice a few in, let's take a quick little step back. Nothing too crazy, but I think it helps. Honestly, I'll probably just add in even more flowers to the side. And then as soon as the grass is grown out fully, it should look even better. But that definitely helps the look a little bit. I also made sure the inside actually changed out the floor, which I do think looks really cool. The plan is to start in this area. The reasoning why I specifically want to start here is due to this waterfall that I have in mind. Since we have this lake kind of extending throughout the entire world, well, at least basically extending out through the entire world, I think I want to have this falling down here and then connecting in with the lake. Then I think maybe around the lake going down there, I could add in a few houses on the side. And it actually shouldn't be too hard to build something nice of it just falling down here and then connecting in. All I think I need is a buttload of buckets of water and a whole bunch of dirt. I really think that's probably all that's required. And then maybe removing this tree right here, because these vines, nah, I don't need these vines to go all the way down there, man. You gotta go, tree. Operation Waterfall is a go. I should probably also actually turn these guys. So there you guys go. Enjoy yourself. So what I'm thinking the plan is that if it just kind of comes in here and then falls like straight down, I probably then should be able to quite easily contain it afterwards. So let's try and start off by just filling in some buckets on the side of the actual mountain and then see how they by themselves just kind of leads down. Alright, see the spread looks somewhat decent. Then if I can just go around and add in a few pieces of dirt all the way around so it at least looks like it kind of contains it going down. Oh, this guy already escaped. Please don't die. Brody, please don't die. You can just extend this going all the way up. So it's kind of contained right here and then by itself just floats out. And all I need to do is probably just add like a few pieces of dirt around here just so it doesn't look too weird. So if I can just extend this whole side right here and this side, it will then connect with this area over here and we kind of have it all connected, at least for now. So basically all I gotta do is just fill in this entire area with water, which should be quite easy to do. Alright, perfect. That now connects from the actual waterfall over to the other side. I feel like what my plan is that for the houses themselves, I might have them go around the actual mountain sides so that the whole sea out here, or sea/lake, whatever you want to call it, is actually pretty big. I feel like that would be really cool, and if I could just add like a bunch of axolotls and stuff like that into it, I think it would make everything feel so alive, and then maybe like even like a few islands in between and stuff like that. So maybe something I should tackle off the get-go is that around this side right here, I just take the outer layer around and not actually much of the inside, but the outer layer here and add in a few facades of buildings. And my villagers are here. Let's go. I should be really specific with which jobs I give these guys since they will have a really nice discount. I'm actually really liking this tower. I was kind of like afraid that it wasn't gonna look all that good at the start, but now that I've really like started looking at it, and I think especially with the water, it looks great. Obviously, I gotta remove my OG golden Brits at the back though, which is unfortunate. It's been here since very long time, but it's gotta go. So let's tackle this build right here. Let's transform this entire facade right here into a almost entire village building around the front of the mountain. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna utilize the top of it and kind of extend it around that way. So something quite simple that I want to do off the get-go is I think I just want to follow this exact pattern of the lowest block all the way around. With those blocks added all the way around, what our next step will be is that all the way around we want to add a 1, 2, 3 and then a block like that out front. Then all we gotta do is just add a few details around in a few places where we just do something like this right here. And lantern, and we have ourselves entrance to house number 1. Then right next to it, we can just add in a few like this, and then we can grab some of our stone brick. And then I can just add something like this randomly on the side. And then right here, we can throw in some polished granite and granite. And that would give us doorway number 2. And I think you get the picture, so let's do that all the way around. Yeah, I made a mistake right there. Made a little mistake at this spot right here. Let's quickly fix that. Alright, that looks a bit more correct. I don't really know if I'll ever actually end up building anything inside here. So just for now, since we aren't going to build anything in here right now, let's just pop these in so you can't actually see the behind the walls. Then my next step will be to add some sort of stairway going up the side. Should be something very simple, but I just wanted to kind of lead up to here, and I do believe, let me try and get all the way up real quick. Yeah, if I can connect this pathway going through here, and then make the staircase go down, I feel like that would be cool. So what we can do real quick is just start off by removing these, so we have ourselves a little pathway going out, and then here we just have it swerve down. And I suppose since this is already birch, let's actually make the staircase out of birch. Alright, the next step will probably be to add these oak fences going all the way around. Alright, perfect. Then I can probably actually add in the water, at least on this side, just to see how it looks with the water filled in. So I think I'm just gonna start off by probably adding in the water. Alright, then let's just take out all of the dirt. Let's try and take a step back up the mountain and take a look. Oh yeah, it's definitely coming together, man. I'm liking this. It's not like I'm trying to do anything too crazy over the side. It's more so just the fact that like there are actually something instead of it just being like dead and boring. I think this looks solid. There are still a few details that I think I could add in, but I think it's a very good start. The stairway up looks really solid. A few details, should probably add in a little bit of dirt over to the side just to make it look a little bit more complete. Yeah, that definitely helps a lot. Let's try and do a little something about this waterfall so it makes it look a bit more natural maybe? That gives it a slight better feeling towards the waterfall. What I want to do before really starting to make sure all details are complete, I want to start figuring out this area. There are a few simple things to start off with that I want to do. And some of them are quite simple. What I want to do is I just want to extend this stairway all the way down until we actually hit the bottom. That means this right here is the level where the water will extend out to. We got our stairway going all the way down. Then what I think I want to do is I want to try and do something a little unique, but something that could be quite fun. I want to try and see if I can do some sort of kind of double layer of housing. I think that sounds a bit odd, but let me try and explain what I mean. So since there's quite a far way going up to the actual top of this stairway, what I'm thinking is that we have about this layer right here will be the layer where the water comes around. So then at the bottom, I want to build something in the feel of what I did right here. So I just want to have houses probably going to around about this height, but then on top of that, I want to add houses a little further back kind of on top of those houses. I think it could be really freaking cool and have a very unique look to it, but I just gotta nail exactly how I want to do it. I'm just gonna start off over at this side, so if it ends up looking absolutely horrible, at least we know that's not what we're gonna go with. But I do think it should be somewhat easy to actually do. Like, all I'd have to do to start off with is just kind of trimming out this mountain a little bit and give it some proper space. And I've already put up this tough block line up here, which I think is just what I'm gonna follow. So maybe right here is where the last house will be. And then all I gotta do is just remove this all the way over to the staircase. And then now we have a giant area to just fill in a couple of houses. We are probably gonna have to go on a pretty big gathering of materials at this point, because I'm starting to run out of wood. Thankfully, we got our beautiful farm up here where we can just chop down a bunch of trees and we can get to work on this. Things are definitely starting to change like absolutely crazy. Adding all of this water in over here has done so much. This is really getting super freaking cool. We take a step back right here. The farm is starting to slowly but surely grow up. I just kind of wanted to put like a farm in there since I'm gonna probably build houses on this side as well. So it kind of made sense just to not only do houses everywhere, but just do a little farm and stuff like that every now and then. But if we look back here, wow, man, this is really looking cool. I am absolutely loving the vibes of this. So let's make our way back over here and actually do something, since I made sure to completely fence in this area right here because I wanted to actually bring in some villagers. So we have our two nice villagers right here, which I'm just gonna, if I can just quickly take this down, jump in the boat, and then we can just take this guy in here, and let's take this other guy down to the roof, and then just one last little, there we are. And then we can set both of these guys free, and then, well, then we will find out if I've actually made sure to completely fence off this area or not. Because if I haven't, well, then they can't just make their way out, which they can, because they can literally just run out here. That's a quick fix though, no issue. I just need some slabs under there, that's alright. And then we can throw in this one here, and then the other one in the other house, so then they can have each their own houses. And you know what, man, while we are here, just because we can't just leave it off like this just wouldn't be okay. Let's just throw in some wood at the floor so they actually have a nice little house. I'm gonna go get you some bookshelves and a few beds. And you know what, man, you're gonna get the same treatment. I actually don't have enough emeralds right now for bookshelves now that I think about it. And also, I don't have any wool. Wait, actually that's not true. I did have a little bit of wool right here. I do have a little bit of leftover wool after building the flag. I just don't know where. Oh, there it is. This won't be the greatest decoration you've ever seen in a house, but you guys are gonna get just a little something. Alright, that should be enough for now. And then we can also take this last bed right here. There we are. And then we can actually add in another stone cutter for now. Let's pop this one in the corner and actually just throw like a lantern on. Alright, enjoy your little house right here. And I can just grab some materials and do the exact same here. Now what I want to do is I want to take a little step back for a few minutes and actually spend some time making sure I gather some stuff that I probably am going to need. So we are going to start working on this side, and we're going to kind of just keep the theme going with all of these houses, try and change them up a little bit, but try and stay as much on theme as possible. But something I would really like to get is I would like to get some more axolotls added into the area. For me to get axolotls, I would have to make a trip back to a place that I've not been to in a while, which is all the way over there, our good old village. Didn't really find any axolotls, but I'm just gonna grab myself a bunch of tropical fish, and then we have a good amount of clay now. So with a few more of these axolotls added into the area, it's definitely breathing a little bit more life into this little space that we got down here. So what I want to do now is I want to do the next extension of the build, which is going to be this side over here. So first off, we would really quickly need to trim out all of these trees to see how much space we have to work with. Next, I'm thinking I should probably go up and grab myself a bunch of torches to make sure the area is lit up. Got myself a bunch of charcoal right here, already got plenty of sticks. Then what I'm thinking for the floor down here is kind of going intact with what we've done on this side. I'm really loving the dark oak feel going around, so I think replicating that on this side right here just feels proper. So I'm thinking that this thing right here just extends a little bit further down, and then probably at around... Let me just quickly grab a few more tough blocks because I'll need that. So what we can do is we can just extend this out a few more blocks, probably around and about to this area. Matter of fact, let's add another one and then do this. So we just have this going all the way through, and we can just do it in one straight line. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. It should just be pretty simple going all the way through here. And see, this right here is what I wanted to avoid. That's why I brought torches. Let's just quickly yap down a bunch. So when we have a giant cave going down like this in this area, I just want to light it up a little bit like I've done, and then just kind of block it off and just act like it doesn't exist whatsoever. So just quickly add a few blocks in, and this should just, well, remove it from existence. But now what I gotta do down here is I gotta figure out exactly how I want to build this area. And I actually have what I consider to be a pretty cool idea. And it's kind of going in the sense of what we did to this side right here. This little cave thing right here works really well because of the roofing on top of it. Just kind of like, I don't know. Something words, you know what I mean, right? And if you don't, well then you're just like me because I don't know what I'm talking about either. And just focus on this area because I don't want to waste any more time yapping. So all I'm thinking is I'm gonna do some sort of double layer like we've done here. That's basically the gist of it. Should end up being pretty simple, just trying to mixing in a bunch of different woods. And more so this time around over here, what I'm thinking is that instead of doing wood like I did to most of these houses except this one down here, I want to go ahead and just do a bunch of different types of stones, which requires me to get a bunch of diorite, granite, cobblestone, tough, and you name it, man. Just a bunch of different types of stones. So I'm gonna go back and grab myself a handful of different materials that we can start working with for this area, and then let's try and make this. That gives us what I consider the lower layer of this build. Before we start extending out to the side over here, which we are going to do, what I want to do first is I want to figure out exactly how I want to go about the upper space of the area. So what I'm going to do now, before we do anything, is actually this place right here seems like the perfect place for me to add in some sort of stairway. And then we have the pathway going up here. And now what I should probably do is actually finish off the roofing of these houses before doing the next ones on top. I'm gonna go pretty simple and just add a layer of slabs on top of the houses. And I'm thinking they will extend back, let's say 4 blocks. Then I just gotta clear out all of this all the way through and add slabs all the way ahead. And then what we can do is now add another house in the back of it. So we still have this giant area up here, which we don't really have anything for. I don't think I'm going to build houses or anything up here. So what I'm going to do is, well, if you've watched any of my videos at this point, you've probably already guessed it. But if you haven't, it's farm time. We are simply just going to build a farm up here. Whenever you have a space you don't really know what to do with, farm it is. Like right there. What I want to do actually for this is I want to go around and add a few subtle details in. So I'm actually going to grab myself a few tough blocks. Then also, actually, before we get into any of that, what I want to do really quickly up here is add a fence all the way through. Just so we kind of close off this area. And we actually also got to do this right here. So for now, what I'm gonna need is I will need myself a whole bunch of seeds. And I don't even know if I've actually left any seeds anywhere or if I always turn them to bone meal. Stack of 64 is definitely not gonna do it. So I have to clean out a few farms down here so we actually have a bunch of seeds to work with. 2.5 stacks should probably do it. If not, well, I'll just come back to you, beauty. So what I am thinking for this is actually what I can start off with is kind of just go around, add a little bit of a tough path like I did up there earlier. So all I gotta do is just go down over to the wall over here and just throw in my tough. Just do a little bit of work around here, which is kind of go around like this simply. And if we just throw a few dark oak fences in here, it's just gonna help it look a little better. And then obviously we also gotta throw in a few lanterns because, well, it's a TIFO video. You're gonna get lanterns. And all I'd really need to do up here is actually just turn this into a giant farm. Alright, that just gives us a little farm up here. So when it grows fully, it should look pretty good. What I'm thinking now is I want to go down here and kind of work this side so that it feels more so complete all the way around from the little village over here into this. All I gotta do is just fill in a couple of places and we should be good. Then the next part should probably just be to actually extend all of this water in. If I just remove this whole thing, I think that should take care of it all the way over to the other side. Lovely. It does. Let's try and make our way a little bit back and see how it looks. I like it. Actually, looks pretty good. Matter of fact, I actually think it looks really cool. This is dope. This turned out better than I thought it would. What I am thinking now is that that's basically it for this area itself. It's just kind of now needs to go further and extend around. We still got 10 days left of these 100 days, so we can still definitely do some building around here. I think to start off with, what I should do is just take this path and kind of extend it around, so maybe it will end up somewhere around here, maybe a little further back. I want to have a good amount of water around this area just for the lighthouse itself to kind of have some sort of purpose. But if I can just go around and a bit like this all the way over and fill it in, I think this should end up being pretty good. And then either we can just do a few more houses inside here, or maybe we just do some sort of farm. Ooh, there's even a diamond right there. I think what I want to do now is just first off clear out the area itself. Yeah, that should probably help me to see exactly what I should do. So I guess I kind of ended up actually adding in another 2 houses to the side right here, but it's worth it. I'm pretty certain that I have an idea for how I can do this area. It's just about exactly figuring out how I want to do it. So what I'm thinking is I want to take this kind of pathway that I have going on top and just kind of keep on extending it out. Probably around there, and then what I want to do is just start slowly but surely getting it to swing over to the other side. Let's see, if we take a step back. Yeah, that's exactly how I want it to go. So if I just keep on doing it like this, maybe a couple more. I want it to end up actually connecting with the mountain. Kind of just going all the way over and hitting this side. Then I think I'm just going to add another layer on the back, because that will then make me able to throw these fences at the front. And of course, one short. Because why would I not be one short? Let's jump down and take a step back. That's exactly the way I wanted it to be. Then what I want to do is I want to grab a whole bunch of dirt. And I think I just want to start off by just having these go all the way down and hit the ground. Then somewhere in here in the middle, I want to do a little bit of an extension. Let's just throw down another crafting table. I don't know why, but I kind of like having like crafting tables and stuff like that just be around here, just because it kind of brings a little bit to the village. But what I want to do is I want to make myself a few more stairs, and maybe in a spot just here, I want to just kind of go out. And then what I want to do is I want to just have these stairs, and then somehow, some way from down here to up there, I want to make myself a stairway. All right, just some sort of stairway going up just like this right here. Just a little odd, but you know what, man? Why not? A little different. That means we have a little bit of an open area down here, which is actually good. I kind of wanted that. So I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill it out a little bit with dirt. so that it just gives us an area like this where I'm just gonna literally just put in wheat like I always do, because why not? I need a few more seats, but let's just fill out this entire area and it will look a little better. And then we still have this giant area up here in the back, and I think what I want to do is I want to do an extension of these houses just going all the way around. In theory, I think this should be pretty simple. I want to add another layer here because it's going to just make it a little bit more spacious. But if I can just add another house just like this about here, and then we just kind of keep this rolling through the side. Maybe even for the side, what I could do is over there I did these stone walls so that the side is just like a giant stone wall going through. That might, you know what, that's what I'll do. So one more house here and then a stone wall going through. So for the last few days I just went around and really tried to finish off this whole build. Even went back to a couple of places and actually upgraded those places. And just like that, we have now survived 200 days in a cave zombie world. If we take a look at the build from up here, you can see at the back that it is far from finished, and that is left so on purpose. So we've gotten our entire side down here inside the mountain, we've gotten our little village over here, and then of course this village here as well, with the waterfall and the stairs, and of course our lighthouse in the middle. So if we just take a little quick run around here and get over to this spot. The reason why I haven't done anything to the back right here, like what I could have done is just quickly added in a few facades like I've done right there to the back to quote unquote finish off the build. I have not done that because I actually want to take this whole area and expand it even further and make this whole place bigger and bigger. Now that won't be our next project, but it will be one of the upcoming ones. I really like how this one turned out right here with the wall. I think it actually looks really cool and just gives like a light little contrast just going through that you don't have to do anything like too crazy. I've also went over back to the village and grabbed a lot more axolotls if that wasn't obvious. I grabbed about an entire inventory filled and just put them into the lake. And the plan is obviously to get even more, because why not? Now you're probably asking yourself, well, what will the next project be? Well, the next project will actually be this area on top here. I talked about plenty times in this world that I did not want to make any sort of automated farms and stuff like that. I'm kind of going back on my word in a sense. The reasoning why I'm going back is because I want to have a purpose to these different areas that we're gonna keep on building and keep on expanding. So what I'm planning for now is to take this entire area right here and actually turn this entire thing into one giant iron farm city. Now, like we always do, it's gonna get freestyle. I don't exactly know how it's gonna go, but I do know that with all these different builds that we're doing right now, it's just gonna be another fun, crazy freaking build. Like you can see, our world is expanding so much. It's even gonna get better. It's even gonna get crazier. But the plan is for this area over here to become some sort of massive iron farm. Let's see what we can do with this. Make sure to like and subscribe, and let's tackle these next 100 days.